Nick here. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the shows and entertainment that we experienced while cruising Wonder of the Seas. Join us. We went to the Promenade, or the Royal Promenade, around 11:10. Instead of going to the Promenade or going to the big walkway, we went up one floor and we sat at the bar there. We had a great view. So if you're the type of person that likes to be part of a crowd but also likes to have a little bit of space from people, consider checking out that second floor. So as far as the entertainment went, the party really did start around that 11 o'clock time period. So maybe we were there a little bit earlier than 11:15. But they started music, like dance type music, at 11, and it went pretty constantly for about 45 minutes. And then they kind of interrupted it, and they started to wind up towards the idea that the balloons were going to drop. So at 11:45 is when the crowd got really kind of started to get dense, and but they had great music. The cruise director came out about 6 minutes before midnight and talked to the crowd and got people pumped up. It really felt like because I'm used to cruising on Carnival. It really felt like the sail away party, and there was also a sail away party. So I don't want to discredit the Royals sail away party, but it kind of felt like what Carnival does for the sail away party. So around midnight, I don't remember if it was exactly midnight, but around midnight they opened up the balloons. The balloons floated down to the Royal Promenade, and then the popping commenced. It was all over the place. I will say that if you have somebody that has difficulty with auditory or sensory issues, it may not be the best experience. My brother is autistic, and he does not like popping balloons. So if you're a person that loud noises gets to you, it's definitely a show that maybe you can go to, or an experience that you can go to and then leave right before they drop those balloons. And they make it pretty clear when that's about to happen. It's not going to be a surprise. So, but as far as enjoying our time, we definitely had a good time. It was definitely fun to be there, be part of the crowd, be able to welcome in the midnight time. And we don't usually stay up that late on a cruise. I think we had a little bit of an advantage because we were 3 hours ahead, so it was really just 9 o'clock our time. But we were able to stay up for that balloon drop, and it's worth staying up for if you're going on the Wonder of the Sea. Next, I'm going to talk to you about Voices. Voices is a really cool a cappella experience, but you walk in and you hear voices, and it's really kind of cool that they take that kind of stance. So they immerse you in it even before the show starts. We had the key. The key seating was actually on the second floor. I wouldn't say it was the best view because you're so far from the stage, and we were there early enough. We probably could have sat pretty close to the stage. Something to consider that this might not be the show that you use that kind of advantage, or if you're arriving late, obviously you still have. So the show started down, and they explained the experience. They had live performers singing part of the music, and then they also had pre-recorded sounds made by members of the cast that added in with that a cappella. So you get to see those individuals up on the big screen, and part of the experience is seeing kind of the backdrop with all of the pictures, and then the side screens as well. But they did a great job. There was a good arrange of music. I enjoyed myself. My wife enjoyed herself. I would say it's definitely worth going to. If you have to choose just one, I'm not sure if this is the just one for the cruise, but it was definitely a good show. All right, the next show I'm going to talk to you about was the Effectors show, Effectors 2, Crash and Burn. The show again was in the Royal Theatre. We actually sat on the floor closer to the stage. We were kind of to the side, so not a direct on view of the performance. Of all the shows, of all of the kind of stage shows, I would say this was probably the most kid-friendly show. And you know, one of our focuses for our channel is talking about how families can cruise. So definitely, if you're on one of the seas, this is a must-do if you bring kids along. So the show basically follows the villain getting out of jail, and superheroes and how they are able to interact and save the day. So I don't want to give away. It was really cool. I think my favorite part of the experience with the show was the usage of the drones. There were drones in the show at the beginning, towards the end, and they were able to play it into the story, not just, oh, we have drones and here they are. So you'll be able to see it either through going to see it yourself or on YouTube. There are lots of different people that have videos. You don't have to watch mine to get the gist of that. But if you had to see just one show and it was just you and your significant other, I would say this probably isn't that show. If you had to see just one show and it was you and your whole family with your kids, I would say make this a priority to be your second show. Make it happen for a second show. But it's definitely not the can't miss show of the cruise. All right, next I'm going to talk to you about Intense, high performance, and this is in the Aqua Theater, all the way to the aft. Some really cool things about this show. One really cool fact is that the performers are all women. The use of the stage, the use of the water, the use of the platforms, the use of the diving, all of those are included in this show. It is a wonderful show to watch. I thought the music was appropriate all the way through. There were a couple of low points, but it drew suspense. It was not low point as in, this is boring, what are we going to do next? But in a way to draw suspense and draw the viewer in. As I said before, we had the key and we're able to sit center stage. We had really good seats. We were a little bit further back from the water. They have a splash zone closer to the stage. So if you don't mind getting wet, like if you already have your swimsuit on, no big deal for you. You're probably going to get pretty wet. We were further back, and we had a great view of the whole show. And the lighting behind where the performers did were, the whole stage lights up, adds to the experience. So sitting really close, you might miss out on some of that. I thought, that the performers did a great job. They obviously have put a lot of work and a lot of effort into what they're doing on the stage, what they're doing in the pool, and all of the skills that they have there. So it is a wonderful show. We recorded some of it. We put it on our page. You could check it out. It's either up here or somewhere on our screen here linked. If you don't want to see it before you go on the cruise and you don't want it to be spoiled, don't check it out. I totally understand. If you prefer watching somebody else's video, go for it. We watched probably 10 or 15 different recordings of the show before, and still in person it was a billion times better. So in thinking about whether or not this is a can't miss show, and I'm going to probably get a couple people upset if you could only watch one show, and only one show is what you're gonna do. I would say make a point of being able to watch two shows. And the reason why I say that is this show really is a can't miss show. Make a point to go to it. I think that as far as if there was just one and you couldn't possibly squeeze in another one, I would say there's one more that I'm about to talk about that is your can't miss that you should be at. Make a point to cancel something else to make sure you go to this show. It is absolutely phenomenal. Well, with that lead in, you're probably thinking, well, there's got to be something more spectacular than that. And this could be my personal preference, so maybe I'm wrong. If I am, let me know in the comments below. If you've seen all of these shows before, let me know your can't miss show. But for me, the can't miss show of the cruise, and the can't miss, you have to go see it to believe it show, is the 365 Seasons on Ice. The ice that you see is a stage, obviously, but they project onto it. They make a scene out of it. The performers were all very well practiced. They did an awesome job of telling the story, being in sync, being together to bring a show together, and it really drew the entire audience into the show. On Wonder of the Seas is, if you're looking, when you enter the doors, it's the left towards the front on the bottom. We are in the first row, which was awesome. Being able to be in the first row, felt like I was lots of part of the show. I guess it's possible that there could be better seats center stage right as you walk in, maybe 3 or 4 rows up, depending on how tall the people are in front of you. We had awesome seats, and there was so much to happen right in front of us that just drew us in. They, as it says, go through the seasons of the year: spring, summer, fall, and then winter. As I said at the start, this is my can't miss show. If you can't book in yet, if you can only make one show for your 7-night on the Wonder of the Sea, this is the show you should go to. You should really go to this show and Intense High Performance. But if you can only choose one, this is the one to choose. One last piece of review is, through the video I've talked about having the key. It's an underrated portion of a benefit for booking the key, and I understand that it is an expensive item to purchase. If you're going for entertainment and you like having good seating, this is definitely a great way to ensure that you're going to do that without having to be there an hour ahead of time. So definitely consider purchasing the key. We purchased the key simply because of the difference in price from the internet package to the rest of the cost. So we had already chosen to book the internet package. We saw that the key was something that you could buy, and then did research about it. So I would definitely say, if the shows are the reason that you're coming aboard the Wonder of the Sea, you're not going to be disappointed. The Aqua show was amazing. The Ice show is my can't miss show. Voices was awesome. The Effectors show was good, and lots of positive experiences. for the whole family. So definitely a positive if you're thinking about taking a cruise aboard the Wonder of the Sea.